Welcome to today's webinar. How can data breaches happen? Samir Aliyev, the Program Director of the Data Protection Officer course at the University of St. Gallen, will talk about the issues related to the causes of data breaches and types of cyber attacks. This presentation will be followed by a short info event about the Data Protection Officer program, which we offer at the university. During the whole webinar, you're welcome to register your questions online. To do so, please use the Q&A symbol at the edge of your computer screen. After the presentation, we will answer your questions. I'm Nadia Stauffacher, the Program Manager of the DPO course. Thanks a lot for your interest and your time, and I would like to hand over to Samir for the presentation.
Thank you very much, Nadia. And we are going to start our presentation shortly. And thank you very much, everyone, for being with us today. I know it's lunchtime and you have to have lunch. And I will try to make this 45 minutes maximum profitable for you and for us. Please stay tuned and send your question if you have anything during the webinar. Today's topic, as Nadia mentioned, is why the data breaches happen. Because there are several reasons for that. Most of the reasons are now we are known. There are several seminars and courses that they discuss why data breaches happen, all the data protection principles that we have to implement, all the technical and organizational measures that we have to take care of in our companies. But there are also external malicious attacks that we have to find out them. We have to know our enemies. We have to know our threats, what's going to happen from the outside of the company. This is the topic of our webinar today. And we are going to talk about the methods of attack, also method of installing of those attacks in our target computers and devices, and type of attacks that companies and individuals could face. And at the end of the webinar, I will give you some short basic prevention strategies to defend against the cyber attacks. So as you know, the World Economic Forum, they publish every year the Global Risk Report. And this is the risk report for 2020. They released it 2 weeks ago. And as you see here, it's not a surprise, data fraud and theft and cyber attacks are in top 10 global risk for our society, for our ecosystem. It's not only issue of big organizations, it's also issue of the governments, issue of the medium and small size companies, also individuals. That gives us a wide range of topics to discuss and to find the best way to prevent cyber attacks and cyber risks. This is the only one information that from 2019, 10 billion sets of personal data were breached. That means a lot for us today. That means a lot for the companies. That means a lot for governments globally. And also, the cyber crimes damage will cost the world economy around 6 trillion Swiss francs by next year. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of investment. And therefore, the companies, the individuals, and the governments, they have to take care of their system, network, and data. Let's start first, methods of attacks. Today, the companies, they invest a lot of resource and technology to be resilient against the cyber attacks. In the same time, cyber criminals, they employ very sophisticated methods to attack you. Because all the criminals or the bad guys, they are very highly sophisticated, educated, and engineer guys. That gives us a lot of information that we have to discuss today. First of all, I would like to start with malware, which is the most known malicious software that cyber criminals use against us against the companies. Malicious malware software is a malicious software or code which is sent to our device or target devices to have an access to our network and system and data. This malware can flow in a program code, and also it gives access grant to hackers to other forms of software and application we have. What happens once we have the malware in our system? Hacker can get all the sensitive data. It is the breach of data that your data now it's open, unauthorized access by criminal guys, by bad guys. And also they can down your system, they can down your network application, and they can take over, in some case, all the system. They can take over target devices. I'm going to explain some kind of malwares, because malware is a software or code, malicious code, but it is in different forms. First form is viruses. Viruses is a kind of string of code which is attached to any program that we purchase or buy from online stores or somewhere else. That program is already infected. We have an infected file, we buy it, we execute on our system device, then we have already malware in our system. And viruses are spread. Once you have an infected file and you transfer the file from one to another device or computer, it's spread. The second version of the malware is worms. Worms is also a kind of viruses, but there are several differences between virus and worms. The worms can be also spread from computer to computer through the infected file. But the difference, main difference between worms and virus are, worms no need to be or to have original infected file. Once you have in one devices, they are autonomous. They can target and exploit the weakness of the system and move around the computer and target devices. And it is a little bit difficult to find out the source of worms. The next one is rootkits. Rootkits, unlikely it is not spread like virus and worms. Rootkits should be manually installed in the fundamental layer of your computer, application layers, and it keeps itself, the rootkit keeps itself in the application. It makes it very difficult to find out, detect, and remove from the system. But rootkit, since it's manually installed, it cannot be spread like virus or worms, the other kind of malwares. Spyware, I'm sure most of you have spyware in your device, in your laptop or mobile phones, while when you visit any web page, you accept cookies, but you don't know which cookies do you accept. Most of the web page or some of the web page we use, they can be malicious infected. So once you accept the cookies, cookies are coming to your system, to your device, and they start, or hackers, they start to track you, your browser history, your behavior, your search, also all the credit card information, your password credential. They can monitor and take breach, the data breach will happen, and they will take all your data. This is the kind of spyware, the malware that employed by advertising companies, that they want to know your behavior, online behavior, and they target you kind of advertising in the future. The next one is ransomware. I'm sure most of you heard about the ransomware, and recently on television and newspapers, we see a lot of information that the hospital has a ransomware issue, or financial institution, they had a ransomware issue. This is like type of malicious software, malware, used by cyber criminals to block your system and ask money for that. They can hostage your sensitive data. They can block entire your system. And then what's going to happen? Hackers will call you or send you email that this is the only malware that hackers are communicating with you, and they are asking money. They are asking ransom, and you have to pay those ransom in digital currency. Why? Because they want to protect their anonymity. This is very strange situation could happen to the companies, especially for healthcare and the hospitals, healthcare sector and hospitals. Just imagine there's an operation, a very important operation, and during the operation, of course, hackers are very talented guys and sophisticated guys. They know what's going on at the moment in the hospital. They can block your system and ask money. So you have two options. Either you are going to pay the criminals via cryptocurrency, or the patient will die, and tomorrow you are on the press. This is the most critical and unwanted situation that companies would exercise. Therefore, we have to concentrate more on ransomware in the future. So as I told you, in order companies, they try to strengthen their cyber security, resilience, and criminals, they start to use more sophisticated methods to install the malware or the malicious codes in your device or system. Let me explain you some of methods. First method is drive by download. This is the most commonly used method of the cyber attacks. Once you visit any web page, you don't know this web page is already infected by malicious software or malware or not. Once you visit, you can get malicious attack by visiting the web page. This is very pure way and very common way. Or you just download any software or program and you don't realize that it's infected. You don't know that it has any Trojan inside or something else, and you just download on the Apple Store or another digital stores, and suddenly your device or mobile phone or computer or system is attacked by hackers, because all those malwares gives access to hackers to access your personal data, sensitive data, also intellectual data, kind of profitable data that they can use and sell it in the dark market, make money. The Trojan is the next method that cyber hackers, bad guys, they are using. This is kind of malicious code, and it is inside the program that we buy. Once you execute those programs and log in your computer or devices, then hackers have the access to your system. They have access to your password. Via password, they can go through the system to your network and attack to execute their cyber attacks. In some cases, they can also take control of the company. They can do whatever they want via Trojans or other cyber malwares. The social engineering is the most interesting part and widely used technique that cyber criminals or bad guys are using, because today you can invest millions money to technology. Once you have weak insider or uneducated employee, then it is the target of the cyber criminals. Today, bad guys, they don't target your system, they don't target your technology, they target your human, they target your employee, because they know that they are the weakest chain of the system. Social engineering, kind of a psychological manipulation. This is like, let me give you an example, that employee is receiving an email or a person is receiving an email. This manipulation email that you don't know it is a cyber attack or social engineering or not. For example, let me give you an example. Email address like is offer@notification.apple.com. You see it's apple.com and it's offer, and they offer you great latest mobile phone. Just give us your information or click here or download this file. This is the manipulation. Once you download or click any of the links they provide you, then they have an access to your system. Then they can also use your friends or colleagues' email address or names to manipulate you and to give you trust. Once the hackers, they use the social engineering, before that, they develop trust between the victims and them. After that, they use those trust to attack the company, to attack the system. Baiting is it's a little bit old school, but still working for kind of people that they are curious, that attackers, they designed this system to exploit the human curiosity. For example, you are going to somewhere and you find a nice USB sticker, or you find just a sticker on your desk because insider person just left the infected USB on your desk, and you need to use the USB in that moment. Just put on your computer, download something or upload something, and you have malicious software in your computer. This is the baiting. Or let me give you another example. Several years back, the Chinese hackers, they want to hack or attack some medium-sized US companies. They sent a New Year invitation letter to the companies with CD-ROM. And some curious employee of the companies, they said, hey, there is a CD, let me check what's the inside. Once they put in the reader or something else, they have attacked or access, they give access to the cyber attackers. So we talk about the types, methods they install, and now I would like to explain you which kind of cyber attacks you could face or your company could face. There are a lot of entire types, but I will concentrate only on the main types because we have limited time. First is social engineering. As I mentioned before, it is like manipulating the people and giving the access to the hackers via the credential that we give to unintentional and trustable links that we trust them. There are two types of social engineering. I would say first is phishing, and phishing attacks are coming by email, and today most of the companies, they don't know how to react all the phishing attacks because they don't have enough awareness program to their employee, and therefore hackers, they use those phishing attacks to attack the companies to have an access to their system. Installing malware on the organization's network, it's very easy today. Even the big companies, they suffer from phishing attacks. For example, you can receive email from your boss, which is sent by hackers, and you just do whatever your boss is asking to do. And phishing can be used to collect information, to give them access, as I told you, to the hackers, unauthorized access to the system. Spear-phishing emails is a little bit sophisticated than normal phishing emails because phishing emails, first one, this phishing attack is targeted for many number of the people, but spear-phishing email is targeted for specific people. As I mentioned before, attackers, bad guys, they are very talented, sophisticated. They know whom they attacked. This spear-phishing emails is going to the mainly to CEOs, CFOs, or celebrities that they have financial gain, and attackers, of course, they want to get their money or kind of credential from them. Before that, hackers or bad guys, they study the target. It takes a little bit of time. They study, they have to know where they studied, in which country they lived, or which city they was born. So they collect all the information, then they create very nice email that once the CEO or CFO or a C-level person from the company, they receive the email, they trust it because they use those information, even name of colleagues, even name of families, they use in their email to give the trust. Once you see the kind of information on the phishing email, you trust them and you click them, and those click directs you to dummy web page, and you just give your personal information access to hackers. There is a well-known spear-phishing email attack in America back to 2015, and big American network company, which his name is Ubiquity. The manager of the company, they received email from Seaboard that they have to transfer money to the accounts of the CEO. So in this case, the employee of the finance department, they transferred almost $47 million to the unknown account. And that was one of the biggest spear-phishing attacks in the history. But today's, of course, many service companies and the management of the service companies, they receive kind of spear-phishing attacks almost daily. Daily there are, I could say that there are 6 million emails sent out every day, phishing emails. It's general email, but the spear-phishing emails are, as I told you, this is sophisticated. They have to study you, they need time, and they need to gather more information before they attack you to get your trust. The next attack is, as known, DDoS attack, distributed denial of service. So this is very complex attack. For this, cyber criminals should hire some kind of criminal computers. What's the criminal computers? Cyber attacker, they infect some kind of computer before, then those computers, they start to work the criminal. They are like the army, the bot army of the criminal, or is written here, the zombie army. So hackers sitting in somewhere, either having its own infected computer, or it is very easy today to rent a bot, infected computers. They rent bots or infected computers and sending different kind of attacks to the target device, to the victim. So you have a network, and you know the size of network or visitors you have daily, and you design all your process based on your network. And the attacker, they notice, and they start to flood a lot of traffic to your network to paralyze it. This is the pure DDoS attack. I can give you one example. Let's say that Bob has 100,000 devices infected. So each device will send one request per second. That means 60 visits per minute, multiply 100,000 times or devices. That means that the hacker now is going to send 360 million visits per hour. It is or 8.6 billion visits per day to the web page. That means that your system now is paralyzed. It is not unavailable. It's unavailable for your normal visitors, and you lost all your data. You lost all your sensitive information, also trust in front of your customers. That's the mainly used system by, or attack method by cyber criminals. Advanced persistent threat is it's not always happen. It is happened by big hacker groups, big hacktivist groups that they work for these attacks many months before. And they want to go to the system to stay there, persist there, and collect as much as possible data. And for that, they need a little bit of money to hire technology, to hire the resources. That means that most of the APT was happened by nation states. All the hackers or criminals were hired by several states. I don't want to give the name, but you can imagine which countries they do those APT attacks right now. So we had a little bit overview on the cyber threats and types and methods they use. So the threats we can face as an individual or a company in Switzerland also. And I would like to give some basic prevention strategies that what we have to do, at least to be a little bit secure place in front of our customers or partners or in society. First, I would like to say training, because 60% of data breach, as you know, it's happened by human, because of human error. First, we have to train our employee. We have to train our people to give them at least basic information. What's the phishing? What's the spear-phishing? What's the malicious attacks? What's the viruses? What they have to do in case they clicked and download the malicious code. Or today, it's very sophisticated. Today, you shouldn't download any file or PDF. Once you open email in your junk mailbox or just in your inbox, you can get malicious infection from just opening the email. So that's very important for us, for our community and the economy, to educate our employee, to give them basics on cyber security and data protection. Other than this, I would like to say to identify, to be aware of your threats or your enemies, who are your enemies, why it should happen to you, and to have very good written policies, and the process to roll out all the policies and technology. Because without technology, process or policies will not work. And as I mentioned, cybersecurity trainings is important, and this continues. Not only once, you have to have different departments, you have to have different groups to get in different time of the year course or training. You have to have audit, risk assessment, data protection impact assessment, also deep knowledge of your risk factors. I would say that each company should have risk catalog. You have the catalog first, you have to know what are the risks, what are the issues, facts, and proper mitigation plan for each risks. That's very important. That's very short. We can make this list and discuss entire day, but we don't have time for this. For individuals, what we have to do if we sit at home or at school and we have cyber attack, because personally I have almost every day one phishing email. We shouldn't open any untrusted sources emails. First, we have to check, is it trusted person? We know them or company. Once you have a little bit insecurity in your mind, just don't open it. Just call the company or delete the email immediately. And always lock your computer. It's very important. I was attending one cybersecurity course 2 months back in Zurich, and we invited participants for a training, group training out of the class, and 70% of the people, they just left their laptop open. It was too easy to put a sticker and to give them infected malicious code in their computer. So please always lock your computer, be aware of your password, use the strong passwords, read your company's privacy policies, cybersecurity policies, and always talk about those stuff in your company, in your family. Talk to your kids, because your kids are your weakest chain at home. They can be manipulated by hackers immediately because they are kids, and they can give all the credentials to the hackers to access your smart home devices, to access your network, to access your even the bank account. That's all. Now, short, I would like to introduce our Data Protection Officer program at the University of St. Gallen, which we are executing since last year, and it's going very successful. Our course is CAS program, which is 15 days in 5 months. We start our course at Executive Campus of St. Gallen University in St. Gallen. But next year, next edition, we will start in Zurich. We have 3 locations: is Zurich, St. Gallen, and we go to Brussels. We have a study mission to Brussels, which is a very exclusive opportunity for us, and I'm happy to go with our participants this year to Brussels. We will visit first the DLA Piper office, the Professor Dr. Patrick van Ecke. Then also next day we will visit European Commission. We will visit another law firms there to get some insights from heart of Europe, the heart of privacy in Europe. And most of our programs are conducted in Fridays and Saturdays in Zurich. It's very easy to reach out to our study location in Zurich. So what's about our program? Our program is designed to give you really good information on data privacy law. We start with the legal part of the issues, then we go to the management. Once you have some implementation plan, some privacy policies, let's say, then you need to implement it in your company. You need really good management, privacy management. We teach our participants privacy management, then also, as I mentioned, cyber security and data security. The tools we give our participants, it is very useful immediately in their companies that they can talk to their IT department, security department, also their management, because the DPO is the central person for data protection in the company. The person should talk the same language with IT department, the same language with management, and to be bridged between all those departments. Therefore, our program is designed to give really good examples, case studies. All the lectures are coming from different backgrounds, different industries, and different countries. We have almost 70% speakers from 10 different European countries. That's our value. That's our difference in the market, that I would say we are the most executive and popular data protection program right now in the Switzerland. I don't see this. You can see also on the Google. End of the program, you will get certificates of advanced study, which is 10 credits from University of St. Gallen, and it's like a certified DPO program that you will study. Thank you very much for your time. And if you are interested about our program, you can visit our webpage. Also, this webinar is like series of the next webinar. We are going to have a digital week on the first week of the March at the University of St. Gallen, at the Executive School. I will talk about the cybersecurity digitalization process of the Swiss companies. Please stay tuned and you will receive more information about the digital week on the following email. Thank you very much. And I would like to invite Nadia here if we have any question. It seems.
Hello again. We didn't receive any questions so far.
Oh, so interesting. It means everyone is secure. That's very good. But in case you have any question or any concern, you can always reach out me via LinkedIn, or you can reach out me. The phone number you see here, we are available for you, and you're welcome to visit us in our information sessions, which we have each month in Zurich at a Marriott hotel or another hotels. You can see all the information on UNI-SG.ch.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time.